Yuki Kawamura, now the shortest player in NBA history, has just sent shockwaves through the league, proving once and for all that height is no longer a deal-breaker in basketball. The Memphis Grizzlies must feel like they struck gold with this 5 feet 8 inches dynamo, who's redefining the game one viral highlight at a time.
With the setup to Huff.
Was that touched by Washington? Referees aren't sure, so we'll call a jump ball. As you see, Yuki behind the back.
In just 5 electrifying minutes against the Washington Wizards, Yuki Kawamura lit up the court, draining a step-back three, delivering jaw-dropping passes, and sending the crowd into a frenzy. Now, the internet is buzzing, and everyone's wondering how this breakout performance will shape his future with the Grizzlies. Let's dive into exactly what went down.
Directed by Tom Hewitt. There you see the pride for Japan.
Guys, this is number 5, Yuki Kawamura from wnba Sales. Make sure to watch me and my team play this week.
Our shortest NBA player, Yuki Kawamura, is out here making pro giants look like they're in a beginner's basketball camp. Standing at just 5 feet 8 inches, Yuki isn't tiptoeing around the league's biggest athletes. He's running circles around them. For years, critics claimed he'd never make it. Too short, not strong enough, wouldn't survive a week in the NBA's world of elbows and 7-foot juggernauts. But Yuki didn't just silence them. He left them stunned, with jaws on the floor. Now he's piling up viral highlights, flustering defenders and leaving fans in awe. Now, let's dive into the night that flipped the entire narrative, November 8th, 2024. The moment Yuki Kawamura stepped onto the court, Washington's so-called impenetrable defensive setup crumbled like it was held together with duct tape and a prayer. Imagine a defensive system built to protect the paint, block shots, and intimidate opponents, only to have it dismantled by a 5 feet 8 inches rookie dribbling circles around defenders like he was in his own highlight reel. And let's be real, helpless might actually be generous for the Wizards defenders. Kawamura had them tangled and twisted, looking like extras in a blooper reel. The confusion on their faces was almost cartoonish, as if they couldn't decide if Kawamura was real or some basketball magician sent to ruin their night. Social media naturally went wild, with Twitter and Instagram erupting in memes. Clips of Washington's defense getting schooled were everywhere, each one paired with captions that got savagely funnier by the second. The Wizards became an instant joke, trending online for all the wrong reasons.
Step back three. Yes, sir!
Yes! First NBA basket.
Nice rebound.
Get another one.
Yuki again.
And let's not forget the pure comedy gold of a 7-footer trying and failing to guard Kawamura. Picture it. A guy towering over him by nearly a foot, lunging in to contest a shot, only to realize he'd been completely outplayed. Kawamura spun around him with so much finesse that the defender ended up reaching for nothing but air. The embarrassment? Practically tangible. The crowd couldn't hold back, bursting into laughter, and even the commentators had to stifle chuckles as they watched Kawamura outclass a player with every physical advantage in the book. But no amount of height saved the Wizards from the utter humiliation that night.
You see Yuki behind the back, puff cuts.
Washington's so-called defensive presence. Kawamura turned it into a complete joke. His speed and court vision were simply on another level as he sliced through their defense like it was non-existent. The Wizards were supposed to have the upper hand with towering big men protecting the paint and forwards who could block out the sun with their wingspans. But none of it mattered. Kawamura exposed every weak spot with pinpoint passes, lightning-fast moves, and a level of skill that left everyone in stunned silence. He made their defense look like a bad prank that had gone horribly, hilariously wrong.
Yes! First NBA basket.
Nice rebound.
This wasn't some one-off miracle. Kawamura is the real deal, defying every stereotype about height in the NBA. Just think about it. Only 2 other players under 5 feet 9 inches have stepped foot on an NBA court in the past 20 years. It's practically unheard of, yet here's Kawamura making seasoned NBA veterans look silly, proving that heart and hustle can beat height any day. His presence alone sends a powerful message. You don't need to be a towering physical specimen to dominate. Kawamura is setting a new standard, showing that pure determination and relentless effort can take you farther than anyone ever expected.
And last night, he got his chance where he hit his first shot and left his teammates ranting about how much they love to play with him.
The thing about Kawamura, he plays like he has something to prove, and he does. Every critic who ever doubted him for being too small just added fuel to his fire. He's the first to show up, the last to leave, grinding harder than anyone else. Rain or shine, he's out there practicing like a man possessed, never taking a single second for granted. And all that work, it pays off in spades when he's on the court, making seasoned NBA defenders look like they're moving in slow motion. His change of pace, his ability to anticipate plays, his razor-sharp basketball IQ. It's like Kawamura is playing 2 steps ahead, while everyone else is stuck trying to keep up.
Several teams have reportedly reached out to James for workouts. So far, he's declined all of them. As opposed to the 98, why do I bring up that? Why is the magic number 54? Let me try to keep my composure here and be cool about this.
Yuki Kawamura's journey from Japan's B-League to the NBA feels almost too wild to be true. Like some underdog story Hollywood wishes it had come up with. Back in Japan, this guy wasn't just a standout. He was a one-man wrecking crew. We're talking MVP and Rookie of the Year in the same season. Averaging 20 points and 7 assists per game, Kawamura made defenders look like they signed up for an advanced course in humiliation. The B-League wasn't just a place where he played. It was his personal playground. Kawamura schooled everyone, making sure his name echoed in basketball circles far and wide. Opponents who underestimated him, they learned their lesson fast, and usually in the most embarrassing way possible.
Where I say, and I've said on television, and you're going to see other people saying it, but if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it ain't a damn mongoose. Now, several teams have reportedly reached out to James for workouts. So far, he's declined all of them. Guess who has the 55th pick in the second round of the NBA?
But even with those absurd stats, people still doubted him. Scouts were skeptical, almost laughably so. They'd look at his 5 feet 8 inches frame and get nervous because in the NBA, height is king. Kawamura was showing up to a league full of giants, and the concerns just kept coming. Could he handle the physicality? Would he get swallowed up by the speed and size of the NBA? Was he even cut out for this level of competition? Or was he just another feel-good story waiting to get crushed under the weight of reality? Those doubts weren't quiet whispers either. They were loud and relentless, echoing through every scouting report and pre-draft analysis.
Is that touched by Washington? Referees aren't sure, so we'll call a jump ball. As you see, Yuki behind the back, pump cuts.
Kawamura didn't just silence those doubts. He obliterated them, one mind-blowing performance at a time, at NBA workouts. He went from being the little guy nobody was sure about to the can't-miss prospect everyone was suddenly talking about. It wasn't about barely surviving against taller, stronger opponents. It was about dominating them. He walked onto those courts, facing off against players who looked like they'd been sculpted from marble, and made it clear that his size was irrelevant. Kawamura cut through defenses with speed and precision that left jaws on the floor, and scouts who had been shaking their heads were suddenly nodding in admiration. He didn't just fit in, he stood out, and his impact goes way beyond basketball. In Japan, Kawamura is a full-blown legend. He's transcended the game, becoming a cultural icon with an entire nation behind him. People don't just watch his games. They pack stadiums, huddle around screens, and celebrate every move he makes. He's got a fan base that stretches from Tokyo to Los Angeles, and kids around the world, especially those told they're too small or not strong enough, see him as proof that grit beats genetics. He's more than just a basketball player. He's a symbol of what happens when heart and hustle take center stage.
wanted to challenge the world. But because of his size, scouts thought he would never have a chance to compete in the NBA. So when Yuki got the invite to play for Team Japan in this year's Olympics, he knew he had to make a statement, and that he did. Against France, Yuki put up 29 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. He became just the 3rd player in Olympic history behind Kevin Durant and Luol Deng to have more than 25, 5, and 5.
Then came the Tokyo Olympics, the moment that catapulted him from a national hero to a global sensation. If you thought his B-League dominance was impressive, his Olympic performance was next-level stuff. Against France, a team loaded with NBA-caliber talent, Kawamura didn't just hold his own. He erupted for 29 points, grabbed 7 rebounds, and dished out 6 assists. It was a masterclass that didn't just make headlines. It rewrote them, a performance that forced analysts to rethink what they thought was possible for a player his size. His numbers were so ridiculous that he joined a very exclusive club alongside Kevin Durant and Luol Deng, becoming one of only 3 players to ever put up a 25-5-5 game at the Olympic Games. That's not just good company. That's basketball royalty. But let's be real, it wasn't just about the stats. Kawamura's Olympic run sparked something massive, a wave of global recognition that put the whole world on notice. Suddenly, this 5 feet 8 inches wizard from Japan had everyone talking, from casual fans to NBA executives. People were tuning in just to see how this guy was breaking all the rules, defying every expectation. His Olympic heroics became the ultimate resume, the performance that launched him into serious NBA conversations. Could he bring that magic to the big stage night after night? The anticipation was real, and everyone wanted to see if he could pull it off. For Kawamura, the Olympics weren't just about representing his country. They were about making a statement. He wasn't there to be the token underdog or a feel-good story for commentators to gush over. He was there to dominate, and he did so with a swagger that left no doubt he belonged. The skeptics who once dismissed him as a novelty act had to sit back and watch as he dismantled teams, making it look way too easy. Kawamura didn't just change minds. He obliterated expectations and cemented his place in basketball history. The world saw it, respected it, and the legend of Yuki Kawamura only grew from there. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for daily updates.